Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another round in this IIRL season. It is 82. I am back with 82. It is Sox. I'm on my own, but it doesn't matter because we are back for the original season finale, which was supposed to be Singapore, but with the addition of 3 new rounds, this is no longer the season finale. It is a sprint weekend, so we will be starting with our reverse championship order sprint. And as different to the other rounds this week in NA and 81, it is not currently raining yet. So we'll have to see how the weather goes, and of course, during our 5-minute break between qualifying and the race, we will give you the information on the championship standing. Unfortunately, our sim roster is currently down, so we do luckily have the standings ready for you, but it is Singapore. It is going to be fun. We have got 7 lovely drivers for you, fighting it out for the Singapore Grand Prix weekend. We have got Alex starting on pole in the Williams, Mark P2, who is back this week in Alpine, Padge is P3, Deton, race winner in Canada, is P4, KMK is P5, currently P4 in the standings. Or P5, yeah, I think it's P4. Steeley and Jack are running up the back of the grid in 6th and 7th. Of course, they are the 2 fighting out for the championship. Jack is leading the way in the championship as it currently stands. So, he's got a lot of work to do to get his championship order. He is currently 14 points clear of Steeley. So everything is still to play for. Of course, in the sprint, top 10 get points, so everyone will be scoring tonight. And in the feature race, winner gets 25 points and second place gets 20. So we are about to get underway for the sprint. And it is going to be bonkers, so please make sure you do not go anywhere. And of course, if you do like what you see and you do want to get involved with the races, then let me know, and we can get you an invite link to our Discord, where you can join our little sim roster page, and you can join our races towards the end of the season and going into season season 12, because it is season 11. But we are getting underway for the formation lap here, and it is going to be a very split strategy today with the drivers. Alex on pole, starting on the soft compound tyres. Mark is on the medium compound tyre. Padge, Deton and KMK are on the soft compound tyre. Steeley on the mediums, and so is our championship leader Jack. So as we are underway, get your predictions in the chat of who you think is going to win this sprint race. It is going to be 16 laps long. It's going to be 16 laps, and good evening, Jack. Good luck to you, my friend. Welcome on in. And he's done the onboard. Congratulations, Jack, on reaching an 85 stream streak. That is absolutely incredible, and thank you very much to your commitment racing every single race of every single tier this season. We love having you here. So Jack will be looking to overtake Steeley as quickly as he can. Of course, getting through drivers in Singapore is very, very difficult on a good day. Luckily, it's not raining as it was in NA on Tuesday and Thursday in 81. So we don't have nothing to worry about just yet. But right now we are about to get underway. Alex leading the way to the grid boxes. as there's a bit of ghosty ghost between Mark and Padge and Deton there. They turned on their ghost power, and Alex in that lovely, he's overshot it. Alex, what are you doing? Alex has overshot his gearbox, so he will have a 3-meter disadvantage going into his going into the start of this race, and it is almost underway as we wait. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and away they fly. It's a lovely start from Padge getting through on Alex, and Padge is through to P1. Has overtaken 3 wide in the background between, and somehow Jack is in the middle, but somehow he survived. I don't think I saw a bit of wing fly off there, but somehow everyone has still survived. KMK's fallen to the back of the grid, so maybe it was a bit of his wing that fell off. No, he is perfectly fine, but Padge leading the way in this sprint race, and it's looking like that Steeley goes for a move and he switches back, and Jack has a look, and Jack's lot. Our champions and reasons round. Deton's round. Deton is round. Deton getting caught on the curb, and Deton is round, putting him into P7 in this race. Is down at the back of the order. But more importantly, our championship leader Jack has lost a bit of his front wing, and that might have been a warning for him there as well. As Alex there going slightly off track as well, but Padge and Mark have kind of. Padge has managed to break away with those soft compounded tyres. Padge has managed to break away. Mark is 1.7 seconds back, and Steeley is going to be looking through on Alex. For P3, of course, he will want to stay as far away from Jack as he possibly can. Going into this race and the qualifying and the feature race, it's Padge setting the fast lap of this race as Jack manages. KMK coming back on Jack, and KMK has got his way through. Good evening, Chipmunk. Good evening, Mink. Very welcome in. Yeah. It just kind of happens, Mink, when you get down to the end of the game cycle and the end of seasons usually, and because it's not a track that people are fond with. Alex goes over the curb there, but Steeley manages to fight his way through, and Alex and KMK are now fighting out for P4. Alex is round the outside, so this looks to be KMK's position. KMK has managed to get through into P4. Yeah, so Mink, yeah, this is just kind of what happens at the end of a game cycle, you know, and with the way that with the feelings that people have on this world, it's not really the ideal time, especially with a new DLC around the corner. But in the background, Jack is looking for a way past Alex. He is not able to get it done, but with a switchback, that is an incredible move. What a move there from Jack, even with that wing damage to get past Alex. That is brutal. That is a brutal overtaking. Alex just getting close, just slightly closer to the wall, but Padge is using those soft tyres effectively, and Jack will come into the pit lane early to replace that wing. Seems to be causing a bit too much hassle, but he will carry on till the end of the race on those hard combat tyres. But with Steeley and DRS on Mark, is Steeley going to get close enough to make a move? Steeley looking for a move down the inside, and he gets the move done. It's very simple overtake on Mark there. KMK on those soft tyres will be looking for a way through as well. He looks around the outside. He's not going to get the move done yet. Will he have a run into the old, where the old Singapore sling was? He's not yet. I don't believe Steeley swiped Jack. I think Jack went into the back of Steeley into a corner chipmunk. I think that's just what happened. So nothing. I don't think anything too serious. It's just Jack got really unlucky and is really hoping for a safety car to come back into this race now if he wants to get anywhere near the the podium places. Yeah, Mink, don't worry about it. Of course, real life takes priority. So, hope to hopefully see you back on track next week. It's the Italian Grand Prix next week, so hoping for a bit better time with a lovely historic track. But Padge still leading away. Steeley is gaining on Padge by small increments every lap. Of course, it is a small race because there are 12 laps remaining in this 25% sprint race, so the drivers will have to pit, as Jack has already shown off. But everyone going in is a bit wide there from KMK. That is not a very good corner for KMK, but he is still within DRS, so it shouldn't be the end of the world just yet. But Mark sticking with Steeley very so nicely. They're actually struggling to gain time to Padge now. Maybe Padge's softs are still working their magic, and he is still able to push on for now. But we're maybe seeing Padge in a couple of laps time, maybe 1 or 2 laps. We'll see if he has to come in. Those tyres still looking very squeaky clean, so everything is looking a-okay in that side of the Mercedes, the Aston Martin garage. As he does continue on, Steeley and Mark and KMK all looking to push on and try and catch up to the Aston Martin driver. Steeley maybe getting a bit of a slip at the final corner. It didn't look a perfect exit for him. Of course, Alex now pitting in off his soft tyre, so he is done with his softs, and he will go to the end now on a select tyre of his choosing. I imagine it'll be the hard compound tyres to go 11 laps, and it is those white wall softs, the white wall softs. What is life? The white wall hards. The white wall hards will be going to the end for Alex. He'll be trying and push on and try and catch up to Jack, who is currently P6. Jack, of course, getting that wing damage early on, which he had to replace in the pit lane. That gap staying around 2.2 seconds. Mark and KMK staying very, very tight with Steeley, so Steeley is not able to push away as it currently stands. As you see here, as an exit, KMK looking very nice on the exit of the bridge. Mark is rounded, he's in the wall! No! Mark is in the wall! Oh, Mark! On his return race, Mark is in the wall, and he's got himself in a bit of bother, and he's lost even more of his wing. And there is a VSC, which this is going to help Padge out massively as a VSC. And surely Padge is going to use this to pit. And he does. He does. Padge has come in. Steeley comes in. KMK comes in. Deton might not be able to benefit from this VSC. But this is going to be absolutely mental for the top three. Padge is pitted onto the hard. I saw medium compound tyres for KMK, and Steeley has pitted onto the hard compound tyres as well. Deton is following them in. Mark will of course come in. He has got no front wing, so this has kind of really screwed Jack and Alex up. This VSC, that is so unfortunate for them, but this has really massively helped out the race win. The current P1 in Padge. He is currently leading this race by 4.7 seconds now. As Jack, as that is the end of the VSC. Jack has managed to get past Deton and Mark. Of course, they weren't as benefited by the VSC. They still managed to get out in time just for the VSC to end. That gap has now fallen down to 2 seconds, with KMK being the driver in P3. That is very detrimental that he catches up to Steeley before his medium goes off, gets into the DRS, and manages to get past. That's what he needs to do. He needs it in that order. He needs to catch up, overtake, and break away while his tyres are still fresh, and he is sitting around that 1.1 second mark at the current moment. He's now in DRS. He's not going to have it yet, but he'll have it when it comes on to lap 7, where we go on to from lap 6 to lap 7. He will be in the fight. It is going to be very difficult to overtake here, as we know. We'll have to hope that their wings are just low enough to be able to use that drag reduction system when it comes down to the straight from turn 6, I think. At the end of the first DRS straight, KMK will be looking for an opportunity. He is looking flying on those tyres. He's looking very, very fancy on them. Let's see if he gets a good exit out of this corner. It's looking nice. It's looking nice. He's gaining. Steeley goes defensive. And they're side by side going through. As very respectful there. KMK manages to get through on Steeley, and he is now gonna try and catch up to Padge on those fresh, warm, medium compound tyres. They're gonna be like butter, smooth sailing until they fall off. We'll have to wait and see until that happens, but right now it's 7 laps left. Are those tyres going to fall off in 7 laps? Of course, with the poor exit there from KMK. Actually, that is a poor exit. Well, KMK seems to be struggling here on a turn and maybe exit. He may be struggling. Of course, he has been in the fight for podiums before. He's got 2 podiums this season in KMK, so he's used to being in this predicament. So maybe it's just a bit of track knowledge that maybe he's struggling with. Let's see, he is gaining quite rapidly on Padge as well. He's gained 0.3 of a second in the last lap, so those medium tyres working a treat. He's really just got to hope that his tyres do not go off by the time that they catch up to Padge. So get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to win out of these 3 drivers? Padge, KMK and Steeley. Gap is falling dramatically fast now between Padge and KMK. Gap is now at 1.4 seconds. Your current order halfway through the race is Padge P1, followed by KMK P2, Steeley is P3, Jack currently running P4. It's been a great recovery drive from Jack after getting that wing damage. Deton in P5, Alex is running P6, and Mark, after getting very unfortunate wing damage, is currently running P7. Chipmunk in the chat saying Padge, he thinks Padge is going to win this race. He is hoping for a Padge win. Not very often we see him at the top of the grid, but he will be loving his life as KMK sets the fastest lap of this race with a 1:31.588. And the gap is now 1.1 seconds. KMK is going to be within DRS any moment now. It's going to be in any moment now. It's 1.3 seconds, so KMK might be getting a poor exit out of... might have got a poor exit, so maybe KMK is now starting to struggle on his tyres. Steeley still 1.9 seconds back from KMK. His medium tyres have not come into fruition yet, but KMK is really, really trying to stay in the range. But as Chipmunk's saying in the chat, that KMK's tyres should drop off soon, so maybe he's starting to struggle. And he gets on the border of the DRS, but then just falls back. So KMK might not be able to catch up to Padge. And with 7 laps to go in this race, everything is still to play for. There still could be a safety car of some kind that could throw a spanner in the works. But right now, it is very... Ooh, it's a very slide there from KMK at the end of the DRS straight. Of turn 17. But it is not what KMK will be hoping for. I think KMK really hoping that he'll be able to catch up to Padge, stay there, and get past him. But right now he's not able to get into DRS, and he's just on the border again. KMK just on the border again. He might be burning through all his battery, as my onboard for the Mercedes doesn't allow us to see what battery he has got. But the gap is swirling, still around that 1 second mark. KMK is using every single bit of power that he has to try and catch into the DRS. And, oh, he's there. He's in it. Is he going to be in it for the detection point, which is just out of the Anderson Bridge? He's out of it. He's out of it. It's a poor exit there, and he's out of it again. Almost goes into the wall. Of course, that wall is very, very dangerous. It is absolutely risky to take, as far as we saw with our 81 championship leader Cod Camper in no assist go into the wall in the sprint race. Almost costed him a P2 finish in that race. But with 6 laps to go here, KMK is 1.1 seconds out. He's been able to get into the DRS, but he's not been able to stay in the DRS of Padge. And with Steeley now falling further off the back, he is looking maybe set in stone for P3 here. It's still a gain on his championship rival Jack. It'll be a gain of 1 point. Yeah, and Chipmunk also going into that wall as well. So he also knows what it's like to experience getting too close to that wall. KMK will not be wanting the same fate as Chipmunk and Cod Camper. And he's on the border again. The DRS detection point is on the bridge. He gets in it. And then what I've really been noticing is KMK's been getting a really bad exit. Oh! KMK's gone into the wall and he's lost a lot of time. He's lost what? He's lost 0.6 of a second. He's lost 0.6 of a second. He's now 1.7 seconds behind Padge. So what Chipmunk has said has now come into fruition. KMK has fallen 0.6 of a second back because of the Anderson Bridge. And KMK is now catching up very slowly. He's managed to gain 0.2 of what he lost back. Doesn't look as though he got any damage from that, which is very handy. But he is now sitting at 1.5 seconds, and Steeley maybe looking at taking advantage of that. He wouldn't have. Steeley, of course, will not know what has happened, but going into the back, Deton has caught up to Jack as well. So Deton may be looking at passing Jack. Is he going to get anywhere close to? He is not, but Jack may be looking a bit worse for wear since his wing damage. He's maybe looking at struggling for confidence, but of course he is our championship leader, so he will finish the race and finish this season with a hat very high on his head. I think that's the saying. But Deton, is he gonna find a way through and make a move on Jack, or is he just gonna sit in his DRS, as maybe Deton's tyres will be starting to wear out soon as well? Deton is very, very close. It's within half a second. He had a look, but nothing was going to come to it. As we go back onto the start-finish straight of what has just started to be lap 13 for these two drivers. Or Deaton maybe going a bit wide there. It's very unfortunate for him. The KMK at the front of the pack has fallen to 2.3 seconds back. So this is looking like it's going to be a sprint win for Padge, which would be absolutely iconic. I tell you, iconic. And Deaton looking up there. Deaton getting very unfortunate with his tyres. His tyres are falling off the exact same way that KMK has his tyres fall off. And through the Singapore Sling section, whatever its name is now, I ain't got a clue. Bit deep there for Deaton, so he's still got DRS and probably a lot lower wings than Jack, as Deaton is well versed in IIRL for his low wings. So we hope that he's manifesting and continuing his race, his bi-weekly tradition to run super low wings. Let's see if he can get any place, but Alex is going to be looking at gaining. Maybe in 2 laps he can gain anything if anything goes wrong. And Mark still staying at the back. He's looking to overtake Alex as well. He's got 1.7 seconds to catch to Alex. If he gets within DRS, and maybe he has an opportunity. KMK has not caught up, so Padge is looking very likely for that sprint win. Mark getting a 3-second time penalty. So if he does get past Alex, it will not matter. Alex will keep P6. Unless Mark can get past and breaks 3 seconds. But looking at this battle for P5, Deaton is slightly slowing down. Bit of a wide line through Singapore Sling. There's nice, very nice exit there from Deaton. So he gained a couple of tenths, but he's not able to catch up anymore. See how good this corner is for Deaton. He's gained a little bit of a wiggle there from Deaton. They both have battery. They're both using every single way. Deaton going to send it. Bit of a lock up there for Deaton on Jack. He's not able to get the position. Deaton still looking for any way through in this penultimate lap of this sprint race. He goes around the outside. He has a look around the outside, but Jack's just on the brakes later. Just later on the brakes, that's the one. He's got a yellow flag. That is Mark. Mark having a bit of an issue in P7, so it'll still be a great finish for Mark in P7. Big points for his championship. Deaton sending it again. Oh, Deaton is trying to find any way through now. Might be getting a bit desperate for Deaton. Is he going to find any way through? Gap is at 6 tenths for this fight now. Nice corner there from Deaton. He's not gaining as much, but with the DRS he is gaining. If Jack gets support exit out of any of these corners, Deaton will be on his tail. Yellow flag in the back. That is Mark at the end of some bridge. Mark at the end of some bridge has spun. So that is very unfortunate for Mark's race. He has not got any wing damage though, so he'll be very happy about that. But this battle, Deaton is now 2 tenths behind Jack. Our championship leader could lose out 1 more position in this race. Will it happen, or will Jack manage to keep P4? They're both running on fumes of battery. Let's see what happens. He's got a yellow flag. That is marked round again, unfortunately. Deton, is he going to make any last ditch send? He is not. So that might have been the last opportunity. He's gone off track, Deton. So hopefully he didn't get a warning there. But Deton still looking for any way through that he can. But Padge at the front of the grid. KMK was not able to get close. Oh, bit of wheel spin there. Steeley gets a 3-second time penalty. Is not going to lose many positions, luckily. But Padge, as he comes around the final corner, he will come around the final corner to win the sprint race in Singapore. KMK with a different strategy will cross the line P2. Steeley will cross the line P3. Jack will be P4 as Deton, unless Deton can make a way through, he cannot. He's going to make one last send, and it's just not meant to be for Deton. Jack will cross the line P4. Deton will cross the line P5. Alex will cross the line P6. It's been a very lonely race for Alex, but he's hoping that he will be able to make an improvement going into the feature race. And Mark, unfortunately, spinning a couple of times and losing some wing damage, losing some wing, but he will cross the line P7 in the sprint race. And lucky for him, the only way is up. But that was a very entertaining sprint race there in the AT2 drive as we close in on the final 4 rounds of the season. Of course, this being the 4th final round, Padge there celebrating a sprint win, so that will be 10 points going to him and Aston Martin as they extend their championship lead, their constructors championship lead. Of course, him and Jack are the team drivers for Aston Martin, and KMK and Steeley will be very happy with P2 and P3 respectively. As I have unfortunately been black screened, so I cannot do my race rundown, but in fact I cannot do a visual one, but your race rundown is Padge P1, KMK P2, Steeley P3, Jack P4, Deton P5, Alex P6 and Mark P7. Oh, now it is going to be time for the sprint, the short qualifying session that our drivers will go through. But Padge will be looking to extend his form going into the next section of the race weekend. But please do not adjust your television sets. Please do not go anywhere. And if you would like, of course we do not have a red button, but if you would like to request an onboard of a driver of your choosing, then by all means use your channel points, request request a driver, and we will go on board with them for their qualifying laps or any strong overtakes that might be attested in this race. Who do we think tonight is going to get pole? As it is dry again, we'll have to wait and see if our weatherman comes in and gives us weatherman being Jack. So Jack is our weatherman. If he comes into the chat, and Jack is not thinking that he will get pole here. Jack is not confident going into this race weekend. Jack, you gotta believe, my man. You gotta believe. You just gotta believe in getting pole. As we get underway for this qualifying session, we'll wait for Jack to see if there's any weather in this race. But right now it is dry. Oh, it's a rainy race, says Jack. So every single tier has had rain this week in some capacity. That is absolutely mind-boggling. So will there be any changes to the setups? Is not looking happy in our Discord chats. It is now going to rain, and Jack will be our first out on driver out on track, trying to get his a pole position in this race. Of course, unfortunately, our standing system is currently down, so we don't have access to our recent rounds and who got pole position. So we will have to work it out, but in the best way that we can. Last week's pole sitter. In fact, there was no race last week. Apologies for that. Something I did forget to mention is that apologies for the 82 Hungarian Grand Prix not taking place last week. It was cancelled due to the Miami Grand Prix in real life. But we still wanted to give the drivers their chance at fighting at the Hungarian Grand Prix. So the Hungarian Grand Prix is now 82's final round, the week after Belgium. So that means there is an extra round. I say an extra round. There's a now new round that the drivers will have an expected round for the drivers to contest with. Jack, oh, you're out on track. If anyone is in the chat right now, can you tell me if it's raining all race? Because if it's raining all race, that will throw a real spanner in the works. But Jack right now coming out, and he's the first driver to set a lap. We'll see what he can produce. Steeley and KMK are also out on laps, using a lot of battery going into turn 1. Goes wide there. Lovely start to the lap for Jack. And going through over the curb, doesn't hit the wall. Could get a bit closer to it. But I don't think that's anything to be complaining about for Jack so far in this race. He's got a purple of the people that are on track. So he will not happen. As he goes through the Anderson Bridge now. Puts the power on, gets his foot down. It's 104 flat from Jack in the second sector. He goes now through the bend. Still wish they had the turn right bit, the extra corners, but you know, new layout, new fun. Jack coming to the line now, turns his battery off, and he comes to the line and almost invalidates. It's a 28.9 from Jack. Our next driver up to start to finish a lap will be KMK. Hits the wall at turn 17. But coming to the line now, it's going to be just better than Jack. It's 10th better than Jack. Next up to the line, it's going to be Steeley, as Padge will be starting a lap. We'll see what Steeley can do. He's foot to the floor, power down, going into turn 16 now. I don't know what he did at the second sector split, but still looking like a lovely lap from Steeley. We'll see what he can to do. It's at 25 seconds going into the corner. He's looking neck and neck with Jack and KMK. It's a even close times there. Jack is invalidating his in lap. Mark is going to be your next driver to cross the start finish line to finish a lap. Let's see what what Mark can do. As Mark, it is of course Mark's return race to IIRL. He's had a couple of rounds out. He's a 131 from Mark. Padge is going to be your next driver to finish a lap. He is going to produce a 29.4, so he's got 5 tenths to his teammate. It's not a bad lap. Alex is up next. He's done a 104 in the middle sector. As now he comes through the final corner. It's a bit sluggish, but you know, always room for improvement. It doesn't take the whole line, but it's a 129.9 from Alex. It's a decent lap from him. Deton is the only driver yet to come out of the pits. Steeley now coming into the pits. None of your drivers are on laps. Alex just finished his. So now we will wait for the drivers to come out for their second or final runs of the session, depending when they come out. But remember, put your predictions in the chat. Who is going to get pole position tonight? Is it going to be Steeley? Is it going to be KMK? Is it going to be Jack? Is it going to be Padge? Is it going to be Alex? Is it going to be Mark? Or is it going to be Deton? Please do not adjust your television sets. And that's a bit cheeky there. That's Mark getting slowed down on his in lap. But who is coming out onto track? It is a Mercedes. It is going to be KMK coming onto the track for his second of what will be 3 runs in this qualifying session. I wonder if he has any improvement. He's only got to improve by less than 100th of a second to overtake Steeley and take provisional pole away from him. We know it is going to be a wet race. The how long, though, is the question. How long is the rain going to be for? We do not know. But KMK warming up those tyres, warming them up as he goes through bridge. Now everyone else starting to come out on laps again as Alex has continued on trying to improve. So apologies Alex, I missed that. Oh, Jack saying that the rain's going to come 30 minutes in, so the end of the race is going to be chaotic. It's exactly the same as the 81 sprint race. No, the 81 feature race actually. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see to what happens as Alex does come in. The KMK on his run. He's just started his run. Through turn 1, 2, and 3. Looking solid so far from KMK. Jack is also starting a run. And KMK going through the Anderson Bridge section of the track. I noticed he avoids the RNG curb. It is one of those ones where you gain a lot of time if you can use it. So we'll see if he is able to gain time. KMK going through 17 and 18 into the final corner. Now I might have already got those corner numbers wrong. It is going to be an improvement, and it's going to be a 5/10 improvement on his previous best lap time. That's a great lap there from KMK. Jack is only just slightly improving on his lap by less than a tenth. Jack now coming through the final corner. Jack is round! Jack! No, he's not gone into the wall, so he's got very lucky. He's not done a Lance Stroll, which it would be funny if he has Lance's car. But Jack getting very unfortunate. He's not gained time and he's wasted a set of tyres. And he is going to make his way back to the pit lane, and he's going to try again. He's got one more go left in his time, so we'll have to see if he's able to improve. Is anyone else on the lap right now? Padge has started a run. Let's see what Jack's teammate can do. We'll see what Padge can do. He's coming through the Anderson Bridge section of the track now. Let's see, he's 1/10 up on his previous best lap time. But Padge has got the purple sector 2 of the people that are on track. And Padge right now coming through the final corner. He's going to put himself on provisional pole by 0.004 of a second. What a lap from Padge. Will he have enough time to make it back and go out again? Alex is just starting a run now. We'll see what Alex can produce. Is Alex going to produce the run of his life? We will see what he can do going through to the first DRS section of the track. He's down on his previous best lap time. It is not what Alex will be hoping for. But it is still got time to improve. This probably will be his final run of the session unless he pits at the end of this lap. It's a 10th up and fastest of the people that are on track. To contrary opinion, it is the fastest people on track, not the fastest overall. It could be the fastest overall. Alex decides to finish his lap, so Alex's qualifying session will be done here, and he's got into the third. He's got into the 29, so it's a good lap from Alex. Looking to make up places in this race as Deaton is going on his line. I missed Deaton, so Deaton's one and only run of this qualifying session. So the wing goes open, the 0-0 wings are flying their drag reduction system as Sun God has joined the race. Welcome on in, Sun God. We were not expecting Sun God in, but he's joined at the perfect time, the Haas driver. He will be joining from the back of the grid as he will not be able to set a time now. And Deaton setting a 1:31.6, so he will be provisionally last, and he will unfortunately be there unless he has enough fuel to go again. Alex, who is on a run. Everyone is on the out lap, as Sun God will eventually be able to get in his car, we hope. Yellow flags, that is Jack and KMK, maybe a bit of tactics there holding each other up. First to start our run will be Steeley, as Alex pulls in to the pit lane. Padge has not made it out. Padge has not made it out on track. So this is provisional pole is going to be, if KMK can improve, this is going to be between Steeley, Jack and KMK. Padge coming into our chat saying he needed to change his roll bars. So will pole position get taken off him? Steeley is a 10th up into the first sector. That's 1/10 of the 5/10 improvement that he needs. What is KMK doing? KMK, we don't know. As someone said, Steeley's invalidated. Steeley's invalidated. So that's one less position that can be taken off Padge. Steeley has invalidated. KMK still going strong for now. Alex and Sun God in the pit lane, so they will not be going again. Same with Padge, of course. He is our current provisional pole sitter. But KMK is only half a 10th up. But it's enough to take pole position off Padge. We'll have to see going into the final corner. It's enough to take pole position off Padge. But KMK coming around. Spin slide going in the final corner. Is this going to be enough for KMK. KMK has taken pole position by 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths, and Jack will go ahead of Steeley. So Padge still on the front row. Mark is a second up. He will go ahead of Alex, and Deton is improving by a tenth. And that is going to be P7 for Deton. But wow, what an entertaining Singapore short qualifying session. That is KMK P1, Padge P2. There's KMK P1, Padge P2, Jack P3, Steeley P4, Mark P5, Alex P6, Deton P7, and SunGod being a late joiner, only getting in his car at the last moment. But he is going to be P8. Oh, now we enter our 5-minute break where the drivers will have to sort out their strategies, especially with the wet weather coming in. You never know what is going to happen with that. Jack saying it should come 30 minutes in. Of course, we do run on approximate weather. It is not predictable weather here, so anything is possible. And Jack saying he was 1.5 tenths down in the first sector. So Jack struggling in this circuit. Words. Anyone know how to speak English here? Yeah, anyone know how to speak English? I don't. But now we enter the 5-minute break where the drivers get to do whatever they need. They can go to the toilet, sort strategy, sort fuel loads. They'll have to sort weather. But like we said, Jack is your championship leader. The gap is 1 less point, so it'd be 11 points by my maths. It'd be 11 points going into the final 4 rounds of the season. Jack predicting around lap 20 that the weather will come in. So maybe around lap 20 will we start to see. Of course, this is a 31 lap race. So that is a fair way away. That rhymes. So it's like an Alice in Wonderland novel or something like that. But of course, as we always see, there could be safety cars. Anyone could take this. Of course, we have 4 really close drivers. We have 4 really close drivers in pace this race. We have Padge, Steeley, KMK, our pole sitter, and Jack. Of course, anyone can be there for the taking. Alex, Mark. Deton is a former race winner this season. He, of course, won Canada. And SunGod is a bit of an unknown book because he didn't do the sprint race. He didn't do qualifying. So what can SunGod pull in this race? Could he be a little equaliser sneaking through the cracks? Could he find a way through? We will have to wait and see as we are about 3 minutes underway. Get your predictions in the chat. What is your top 3 in this race? Is Jack going to make places up? Is KMK going to stay... do the... what's it called? The double? The dirty double. Is he going to do the dirty double? Or is Padge going to do his version of the dirty double, get the sprint win, and get the feature race win as well? It is all to play for. Do not go anywhere, because you are not going to want to miss the events of this race. I tell you that. This race is going to be absolutely crazy chaos. because these drivers are so close together, and we've seen spins. As soon as your tyres go off, you should really struggle with traction. So what sort of strategies are we going to expect? If Jack's saying that the lap 20 is going to be when the rain comes, is anyone going to risk starting on the hard compound tyre to make it to that race, that wet weather? The hard tyres are expected to last until about lap 17, and that's when you're expected to pit. But is anyone going to be risky and try that, or is everyone going to play it safe? Is anyone going to play it safe and try and get just play it safe and do a medium to hard and just wait? Or is medium potentiality? Of course, that wet weather will set the mandatory tyre away. But what is going to happen? Do not go anywhere, please. Do not go anywhere. As you can hear the beeps in my ear, it is almost time to get underway for the formation lap. The formation lap is about to get underway now. And we'll see what tyres these drivers have selected. So we have got 5 out of the 8 drivers starting on the hard compound tyre. We have got Jack, Steeley and Deton all starting on the mediums. So with that prediction of around lap 20, we are going to see a difference in strategy here, and this race is going to be crazy. I am genuinely looking forward to this. We've got KMK and Padge KMK, Padge, Mark, Alex and Sungod all trying to make it to the wet weather. Ooh, bit of change in the woodwork as Ted Kravitz from the pit lane, as Jack is now saying that it's 10 to 15 minutes for rain. So in 10 to 15 minutes we could be getting wet weather. That is a lot earlier. That puts it around lap 8. We could be getting wet weather on lap 8. Willow, what happened in the sprint? We had a three-way fight for the win, with let's say a two-way fight for the win between Padge and KMK. KMK pitting from the softs to the mediums. Yeah, Padge pitting from the mediums, the softs to the hard. KMK pitting from the soft to the mediums. The mediums just ran out with about a couple of 5 laps to go. So Padge getting the sprint race win, followed by KMK and Steeley. Jack getting P4 after some early race wing damage. And Deton was P5, Alex was P6, and Mark was P7 after a couple of spins. And now we are about to get underway for the feature race here in Singapore. It is dry currently, and it is 5 minutes and away they fly. It's a great start there from Padge and Jack, the two Aston Martin drivers. Jack getting through on the lead on KMK, so KMK, Jack using those medium compound tyres effectively. Alex and Deaton fighting out for P6 currently. Deaton managing to stay ahead. Will Steeley looking for a move on Padge. He is, and he has managed to get the move done on Padge. Of course, there is rain scheduled for about 10 to 15 minutes into this race. We were originally expecting lap 20, but the rain seems to have moved forward, so the weather gods doing their absolute work. Deaton saying that he's on default strategy. That's so unfortunate for Deaton. But Deaton will still do the best that he can. We believe in you, Deaton. We believe. We are on lap 1. Jack has managed to use his medium tyres to break 1.5 seconds from KMK. Steeley is going to be looking for a move on KMK if he can use those medium compounded tyres. So with that in effect, it's looking as though the medium compound drivers have made the right choice when it comes to which tyre to start on. His Steeley's championship rival Jack is leading this race. Steeley needs to get past KMK as soon as he can. I think Steeley needs to get past as soon as he can. He's getting a good run out of turn 5, I think. Oh, I said the same. I said turn 6 earlier. I don't know which one it is. The track map can help. Steeley doesn't get past feet now. As we find out, it is turn 5. There is no imaginary turn 5. And Steeley round 7 tenths of a second to KMK, so he will be in DRS. KMK is actually catching back up to Jack, so something happened to Jack. Did Jack get a poor exit somewhere? Because Jack is now at 1.2 seconds. It's 4 tenths of a second now, so Steeley getting even closer. Padge within DRS of Steeley as well, just falling out. I think, does Padge have DRS here? Otherwise that will be a determining factor here. He does not. So Padge may be looking at falling further back from this DRS train, as he does not have DRS. Mark as well running P5, Deaton in P6. Alex may be looking at overtaking Deaton as he is on that default strategy, and Sun God within DRS of both of them. But all Sun God in the wall, and Willow, Eurovision soon, by the way. Who's your bet to win? I mean, I'm going to be biased towards my new computer, obviously. But I want to say that I think the one that I think it's Greece. I think Greece is whichever one's. I saw a clip of it earlier. It's the one that's the bear one. I saw a rehearsal clip of the bear. I think. Yeah, which country is that? Is that Greece, right? I think it's Greece. So, I think Greece is probably my favourite to win. Yes, it's Greece. I got it right. I got something right. Woo! Yeah, Greece is my favourite to win. I think I'm just hoping for the UK's sake that we don't get 0 points again. But I do think we have got the best situation to not get 0 points, so here's hoping. You're finding the Finnish one popular. Okay. Steeley did get past KMK. I don't know when that happened. Eurovision talk is funny. And KMK maybe looking for a pass on Steeley. Willow backing Australia or Romania. Yes, it's that one time of the year where Australia classes itself as Europe. That's still so funny to me. Australia's a part of Europe for, what, a week, a couple of months a year, and then it goes back to being Oceania. But these three fighting out for P2, currently Steeley, KMK, Padge, and Jack is 2.1 seconds up ahead of the road. There's no hate on Delta Goodrem. It's just the fact that Australia calls itself Europe for a month a year. That's literally what it is. That 2.1 seconds separates Steeley and Jack. And there is still no sign of wet weather, and of course it is night time. So we cannot use the clouds as a tell. KMK sitting within DRS here. I think KMK knows that sitting behind is the right thing to do for now. As depending when the rain comes into this race will depend when they will pit. But like I said during the 5-minute break, there is only a couple of laps difference between the pit window of the mediums and the hards. So there is potentiality that, as KMK gets through quite easily. Willow, what are you saying sorry for? Well, the pit window is lap 15 or 7, like, it's lap 15 or 17. No, it isn't. I think it's 12, 17, or something like that. I think I pit lap 14 on medium. I don't remember what I did now. Or is it that way around? Okay, so the pit window I had in my head was completely wrong. But it doesn't matter because there is rain on the way. We don't know when it's coming. We don't know who it's coming for. But it already does mean that Jack's tyres are falling off the cliff now. Which is what is allowing KMK to 1, break away from Steeley, and 2, catch up to Jack. So KMK, looking like he's made the right choice. Padge will now be looking to try and fight his way through. He has to try and get past Steeley now to make a benefit of these hard compound tyres while we are in this transitional phase. Is it going to stay that way? Who knows? With KMK now 1.1 seconds out of DRS. Deton is on the back of Mark. Will Mark be passed here by Deton in battle for P5? It is not yet. Oh, it's going to be a send! It's going to be a dive! Deton's round. There's contact between Mark and Deton. Deton going for an almighty send there. And it has unfortunately cost him out 3 positions. That default strategy is not doing Deton any favours here. Yeah, Willow, I think you're 100% right. It's a very ambitious dive bomb there from Deton, but is still 3/10 off the back of Sungods. He's still got a fight away in his race, as Jack is now very much being aggressivized by KMK. And yes, I did just make a new word up in the dictionary. Go look in the Oxford Dictionary, it's probably there somewhere. Padge getting past Steeley as Steeley comes into the pits. That's a very early pit stop there from Steeley. Maybe, as Willow said, it was maybe lap 11. As yellow flag, that is Mark. Mark is round. No VSC as we had in the sprint race, but that has cost Mark out dearly. As KMK has got past Jack for the lead, going into turn 7. Going into turn 7. And now KMK will be looking to extend and break away from Jack. Padge will also be looking at gaining on Jack as well. As soon as KMK can break out of DRS, will be the determining point for Padge if he can get past his teammate here for P2. But right now Jack is still within DRS, and those tyres can still do 4 laps. Jack is continuing and still got DRS, is just out of it before the final corner. But the detection point is after turn 17. So Jack will still have DRS, but he is now out of it. So Padge is going to have to use this and this knowledge and his hard tyres, which will be better at this stage of the race, to try and make any gains. We'll go to an onboard, see if there's any sign of rain. There is not. But Padge, now that Jack is out of DRS, is getting 3 tenths already to Jack. So Jack now will be very much looking at the times that he will see, and his race engineer will give them to him. About his teammate, of course, they are still leading and fighting out for the Constructors' Championship. Can't entirely tell you if it's going to be any close to being confirmed, but we'll have that knowledge for you next week, and maybe going into the NA race, in the no assist race in Monza on Tuesday. We got a little race for P4 here, as Alex leading Deton, who has got Sungod in DRS. Mark is trying to catch up, and Steeley, of course, is the only driver to pit as of yet. Is anyone going to come into the pits as such? No. Padge is 4 tenths of a second outside his DRS. Oh, he is catching up very, very quickly. So Padge, if this rain comes anytime soon, the hard compound drivers have made the right decision. But if Jack can stay ahead of his teammate, then he will have done the right thing. But those medium tyres do not look very good on the Aston Martin of Jack. As we go, Jack 1.2 seconds. Sungod is 4 tenths of a second, and to be fair, without practice, he's doing very, very well. Without a qualifying session, Sungod did miss the sprint race and the qualifying session. Sorry, I swallowed a bit of air. But this is absolutely bonkers. We will see if Sungod can get any closer and get past Deton. Deton is running with a default setup because the mechanics forgot to add his setup on when he came in to this session. Bit deep there from Sungod, as Padge is now within that 1 second mark of his teammate. He might have got DRS there. We'll go on board with Padge, see if he has DRS. Does he have DRS? That rear wing opens, and we've got a yellow flag. That's Mark. Mark is round of the session. We've got a VSC. We have got a VSC in this race, and Alex has gone straight on as well. That is very, very unfortunate there from Alex, and it's brought the safety car out. And we got a full course safety car in this race. So Alex just missing his brake marker, and we have got a full course safety car in this race. Deton comes in, Sungod comes in, Steeley will come in again. Steeley getting very, very unfortunate with that, because he already pit in this race. going on to a second hard compound in this race. Deton has chosen the softs. Interesting. I think Deton expects the wet weather to come out very, very soon. Mediums for Sun God. Steeley chooses the hards, as we said. And Alex has also chosen the medium compound of tyre. This is going to be the great equaliser. KMK Jack, so Padge will be double stacked here as well. He will lose time, but I don't think he'll lose enough for him to be boosted down any more positions, but he would ideally like to be ahead of Jack going into the pit lane. So he might, I can see Padge maybe slowing down a bit. Just, yeah, Mink, there is scheduled rain for any time between now and the end of this race. We originally got told that by our weatherman Jack that there would be rain at about lap 20. And then on the formation lap, we get more word from our man down in the pit lane that the rain is now going to be 10 to 15 minutes away from the start of the race, which is any time now. As KMK has chosen the intermediate... Is it raining? Have I just missed the rain? Is it raining? No, there's no raindrops. Is it raining? It's not raining. They must be expecting it to start raining any time now. Which if it starts raining under this safety car, that is the best decision that KMK and Jack have made. This is... If this doesn't work, then they will lose so much time. This is a big risk with high reward if it works. Safety car will be in maybe 2-3 laps time. Yeah, as Willow says, if the safety car comes in and it's not started raining, they will burn out their intermediates, causing them to wear more. Which means, if it doesn't start raining, you're probably looking at Deton looking at a favourite to gain from this. But if it does start raining, then these two, KMK and Jack, are really going to benefit from it. But is it going to start raining? They are predicting rain any time now. But it has not started yet, as you can see. Yes, they have committed to this now. And it is a very brave decision to commit to. But if it works for them... And there it is! I believe that was a drop. It's raining now. We get word it is raining now. So I imagine we'll see everyone else come into the pit lane. Look, Padge comes in now. That has started raining. Deton in. Sun Gods will come in as well. Steeley will have to come in again as well. So it is now started raining and now everyone is equalised. It's lap 12 of this race. We presume that it is raining to the end of this race. But this means... as Alex has continued on. So Alex is the one taking this risk to try and stay out on those mediums for as long as he can. Whether the Williams team has told him that the rain isn't going to last very long, or that it is not time for him to come in yet, we do not know. But Alex has decided to stay out on medium tyres. This is very, very interesting to see. Everyone has picked for the intermediates, but Alex. Why has he stayed out? I do not know. Is it entertaining? Yes, it is. So is he going to come in now? We'll probably have one more lap of this safety car. And Alex is staying out. And it's very much looking like he is starting to struggle out there. There is no drops on the track. But it's definitely drops on the car. And as I say that, there's drops on the track now. There's drops on the track, which means Alex is... If the safety car comes in this lap as I predicted, then Alex really might be in a spot of bother. But it is now intermediate conditions out there for definite. And we are a third of the way into this race, which means the rest of the race will be rain. There is not much knowledge of this track in the rain. And we haven't had much rain in 82 this season. This track has had rain in every single race in 81 and NA this week, but 82 doesn't get a lot of rain. So this is really going to spice it up, and if Steeley does make it to the back of the pack, then Alex will be struggling, to put it nicely. Alex will struggle out there, and he's going to lose a lot of time. Oh no! As the safety car is in this lap. Oh, that is so unfortunate for Alex. Steeley will catch up to the back of the pack as KMK will hold. Wait for the safety cars to come into the pit lane. As we wait for the KMK to go in, I believe he is gone. I believe he isn't gone yet. Yeah, he is. He's now gone. He's now gone. Alex is really struggling out there, and he comes into the pit lane. That really... Don't know if that will mess up Padge with getting any warnings or anything like that, but Alex will come in on lap 14 from the safety car restart. Now, with that, Jack and KMK have gained a 2-second gap on Padge. So they've now got 2 seconds to Padge, but Padge will be looking at gaining. We'll see how Padge fares in the wet condition around this track with the last 17 laps to go in this race. But Jack and KMK fighting it out for position. Bit of a wall tap for KMK there. Will Jack find a move or find a way through? Jack kind of struggling on the throttle. The gearbox does not sound very healthy in these wet conditions, but will he find a way through? KMK, of course, DRS is going to be disabled, so he will have to claw and find his way through. Padge is not gaining as much time as he would hope. Is this now going to be it for the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see. But these two at the front of the grid, KMK, Jack, they are going to be fighting for a very, very long time here. And Padge will be trying to catch his way. Deton will be trying to use that default setup that he unfortunately has. Sun God is going to look at maybe making a way past on Deton anytime soon. Steeley will be running off the grid, and Alex has unfortunately retired from this race, getting the strategy all wrong, as Steeley has managed to get past Sun God in the battle for P5. Yeah, Alex getting very unlucky with the strategy decision not working out for him. But Alex will be back next week in Monza to try and jostle it out for any positions that he can. Steeley now on the back of Deton. We'll see what Steeley can do, if he can try and catch up to the back of Deton and try and get past Deton. Of course, no DRS, so it will be all on battery, willpower and traction out of corners. There's Alex is in our chat saying that the strategy was fumbled. It unfortunately was, my friend. But Steeley now is really, really on the back of Deton. Getting closer and closer. Steeley now going to have a look around the outside. He's got better speed, or he didn't go for it. He's biding his time. Will Steeley make the move now? Deton will have the lower wings while running the default strategy. He's going to look around the outside. He's not going to get a good traction, but Deton goes off track and Steeley will take the position from Deton. Steeley is now up to P4 and he's going to be looking at catching up to Padge. He's got 6.1 seconds to catch up to Padge, who is currently running in P3. So this is currently a great finish for the Aston Martin team in their Constructors Championship hopes, which I really hope will not be finished today. But I really highly doubt it will. But they are the only team that's far out ahead, as they are. Now, when it comes to fighting it out for the race win, Jack is getting back within the second, so maybe Jack is getting more and more comfortable in these conditions. Sun God is on the back of Deton. We'll see if Sun God can make any sort of move. Sun God now is not going to get close enough. So Sun God, whilst on a no practice race weekend, he is looking very, very solid out there. Is he going to be able to get past Deton going into turn 6? He is not close enough yet, so it is biding the time. It is time biding for but for now, it is all to play for, even with the wet weather. The wet weather, of course, is the great equaliser in Formula 1. It is the great equaliser. So if anyone makes a big mistake, it could be very, very costly. But Steeley still trying to catch up to Padge. Deaton still trying to fare off SunGod. And SunGod still trying to make his way through. He has a look around the outside. It's not level with him enough. And it looks like SunGod is going to get the better line. Get on the power better. Is SunGod going to have enough battery to make a move? Is he going to look for it? He is not close enough. So this 30 air is just causing to be too much of an issue for these drivers. And Jack is losing time massively to KMK. So KMK is loving these conditions to a T. Jack still is still in P2, but still losing time ever so slightly, so he'll be hoping to get back into the conditions. Maybe his tyres are slightly faring off a bit. Oh, bit of a wall tap there from Jack. And Steeley still at around the same gap as he was before. Oh, Steeley still hoping to make his way through. Is not able to get anywhere yet. Is SunGod looking at it again? He's going to go around the outside. Bit of contact. Is SunGod going to have a chance of making a move? SunGod now. Is he going to send a dive? He is not. SunGod still is there. He's basically pushing Deaton through these corners. Deaton really struggling out there. Oh, SunGod getting a big slapper at the final corner. It is just not happening for SunGod. SunGod is not able to find his way through. SunGod is struggling to keep. SunGod is managing to stay close to Deaton, but he is not able to. He does not have enough power. He does not have enough traction to be able to make any kind of attack. But your race leader, KMK, is really loving life out there. The gap is extending to Jack, and the gap is extended from Jack to Padge. So whilst Jack has lost time to KMK, he is not losing on time to Padge. Steeley is trying ever so desperately to claw back into the podium chances, as his title contender is P2 in this race. And Deaton is really desperately trying to hold off SunGod, and whilst he had a poor exit there from Deaton, it's going to be a send from SunGod over the curb, but it's not happening. It is not happening for SunGod. SunGod can he's still got 11 laps left in this race. It is just a real struggle for SunGod to make any attempt at a pass. But as with these tyres in the intermediate conditions, the rear tyres do wear very much quicker. So is anyone going to take the risk of a pit stop, in which the pit loss window is about 20 seconds from my knowledge? Is anyone going to pit 4 fresh tyres and try and make it to the end and try and claw their way back through the field? We'll have to wait and see. KMK is extending massively his gap on Jack. Jack really struggling in these conditions. And same with Padge. Padge also struggling in these conditions, but he's not allowing Steeley to get any closer to him, so it's a success in one way, shape or form. As it now looks very wet out there. Of course, we do know that in this world the intermediates are the best compound, even in very wet conditions. We don't expect to see anyone use the wet compound tyre, but as the conditions get worse, the Sun God goes deep into turn 16. No, turn 14. The kink does count as a corner, apparently. That is big. Jack getting a 3-second time penalty. As of right now, it will not cost him a position, but come 10 laps time towards the end of this race, that could be very, very costly. That would be very, very costly coming into this race. So, with 11 laps left, your order is KMK, Jack with a 3-second time penalty, Padge in P3, Steeley in P4. He's gaining now on Padge, but is it going to be enough to make it to the end of this race? Deton is P5 and still holding back Sun God behind him. Sun God still looking for any way through that he can. But it is... Ooh, bit of a wall tap there from Sun God. It's now costing him a bit of time. He will manage to get back in. If there was DRS, then he would have it. But because it isn't, he doesn't. Very, very wide line there from Sun God. Maybe he's trying something new, trying to find some sort of wet track, some sort of dry-ish line. But the weather out there is very brutal. It's very wet out there. Big lock up there from Sun God. He's just not able to get close. If Sun God could get any closer and have good traction, he would be able to have an attempt. But it is just not happening for him. And now that the conditions are getting worse, and they're getting worse by the second, Sun God is also finding himself, it's finding more and more difficult to get past Deton. But is he able to find any way through? It's really just not happening. Is with Deton not having a proper setup, it could very well be possible. But it is just not. It's just not meant to be. It really is just not happening, and Sun God is trying his ever so hardest in these conditions to make any attempt. Exactly, welcome back, Willow. As Willow is in the chat saying, it is almost impossible to overtake him the wet. Oh, sorry, it's almost impossible to overtake him the dry, let alone the wet. So whilst Tim is just trying to find any bit of way through, and this looking to be a good opportunity, Tim isn't the kind of driver to send a dive bomb, but that might be his only way through. As just look at the rain out here, it's getting worse and worse, and there's a different as my throat starts to hurt. There's a very big slide there from Tim, somehow not falling into the disaster of a wall. But as we expected, he's getting close. He just can't get close enough. As you're looking now, he's within half a second of Deton. He just can't get close enough. Keep an eye on that. But KMK is extending his lead to Jack. It's now up to 7.8 seconds. That gap between Jack and Padge is staying at around 5 seconds. So if Padge can start gaining any sort of time and get into that 3-second time penalty window, then he will have P2. Steeley currently running P4 after an early pit stop. And then Steeley pit under safety car for dry tyres. And then it started raining under the safety car, so we had to pit again. So for Steeley to be P4 in this race is an absolutely incredible remarkment as he comes in from this. So the talk earlier is someone going to pit for fresh intermediates. Steeley is not pitting for fresh intermediates. He's pitting for fresh wets. Steeley is pitting for fresh wets. And go away, Siri. I don't want you. So apologies. My phone decided it wanted to activate because of Steeley, not Siri. But we don't usually see the wet compound of tyre anymore. But where Steeley was, it's a race for nothing really to lose. P4, and the difference between P4 and P6 is only a couple of points. So Steeley, we were hoping that 1, the others pit, and 2, that his choice of tyre is the best one. Of course, we do see, it was 81 on Thursday. That guy started on the wet, and he was quicker for about 3 laps. Because as soon as that dry line forms, it becomes much more easier to tread the water from these tyres. There's less water being tread, so the wet tyre essentially turns the track into Inter's conditions. But Steeley is not gaining very much time. That lap time was a 2:10 from Steeley, and Sun God's last lap was a 1:49. Because that was Steeley's pit lap, we'll see what he can do this lap in any sort of games. But with 6 laps to go, it might be too little too late for Steeley to make any sort of way through. Sun God is still stuck behind Deton. He's still within that 1 second point where he has been for the last 20 laps. Or at least that how it feels. Padge is catching up to Jack. It's now 3.7 seconds to Jack. Jack is losing time here, and it could be very costly with that. With that 3-second penalty that Jack has, Jack could very much lose out on P2. KMK still very much storming away with it. KMK has had this race under control since it became wet conditions. KMK has had an amazing race. And the pace and the class that he has shown in this race is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And KMK is currently P6 in the Drivers' Championship, but with that guy Finsick, missing out this race win will put him ahead of both of them in the Drivers' Championship up into P4. Up into P4 in the Drivers' Championship. And Sungod within 0.3 of a second now to Deton. Steeley is not catching up, so the conditions have dried out a bit. And Sungod locks up and goes deep. He's going to look for a switchback. A very big amount of wheel spin for Sungod. Sungod just not able to get close enough. And when he does, there's a bit too much wheel spin for him, and he's right on the back now. This might be Sungod's best opportunity to get through. Is it going? Oh! Sungod! Oh my God! Every pun intended. That is not how. And Steeley coming into the pit lane, back onto a sense of intermediate. So it was a worthwhile risk, but it hasn't paid off for Steeley. So he will have to settle for P6 in this race, and he will be losing a lot of points to his championship rival. But Sungod still on the back. Padge gaining very, very close. With 4 laps remaining, he's got to gain 0.2 to Jack to get within his 3 seconds. He's got just over a tenth now. It is possible, but it's going to be very tight for him. Bit of wall contact there, but he's now within the 3 seconds. So he will hope to stay there with the 3 laps that are remaining in this race. He will have to hope to stay there as Sungod still fighting out with Deton. As they go onto this part of the track, Deton goes around to the outside and is way far ahead. Sungod still trying to claw onto any sort of grip that he has. Another little slide. It's 0.2. He's not going to have a look. He might be waiting for one of the last laps to try and make this move, if he can get close enough. But he is struggling. Massively. And it is very, very crucial for Sungod to get as close as he can and get past, but it's just not happening. KMK has driven an absolute masterclass of a race here, and it is absolutely amazing. And Jack is going to lose out on P2 as it currently stands. So as it currently stands, Jack will lose P2 to his teammate Padge. Still a great result, 2-3 for the Aston Martin team though. Deton is going to be P4 as long as Sun God doesn't get through, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Sun God now falling a bit too far back as I'm being told to do my Duolingo. Very naughty. I need to do my Duolingo after the race. Yeah, Sun God's tyres now starting to fall back a bit. I imagine Sun God's struggling with his tyres, and it is now a 0.8 of a second gap. Yeah, and Sun God's sliding a bit deep there. So Sun God's rears are definitely on their way out. It does look less wet now, so it maybe looks like it was supposed to dry up at some point in the future. But I think that wee bit of wheel spin has caused Sun God's chances of P4 null and void in this race. He's still hovering around that second, but it's just not able to get close enough to make a move. Padge is 2.2 seconds, so P2 is definitely his as KMK crosses for the penultimate lap of this race. He is going to cross the line for the penultimate lap. As Jack gets another 3 seconds, so he's now definitely lost out. P2. Jack will be getting P3. But KMK storming ahead. Absolute storm in Norman. KMK leading the cars out to win this Singapore Grand Prix. Is round 10 of season 11 82. Of course, we do have 4 more rounds left for 82 in this season. It's 3 more for NA and 81. Of course, Belgium is the finale there. The Hungarian Grand Prix will be the finale of the Steeley gets a 3-second time penalty at turn 1. And so did Sun God as well. So Sun God, unfortunately, whilst getting close enough to Deton, just unable to make it through. And we make it through to the final lap of this race. KMK has had an absolute stellar of a race, getting pole. He got pole as absolutely class. He got pole, and he's been able to be dominant of this race ever since the wet period started on around lap 10. Jack, of course, getting very unlucky and starting from P4 in this race, I believe. Padge starting from the front row of the grid after being on provisional pole for the entirety of qualifying, but just missing out because he forgot to go out. He missed out on time to go out. Deton on a default setup. Absolutely amazing result, and especially to keep Sun God behind for so long. Sun God, without doing any practice, has had an absolute amazing race. Like, being P5 with no practice is no incredible feat, as he does a little wiggle for the final lap. And Steeley, of course, getting very unfortunate with safety cars and strategies. But KMK will lead your way to be the Singapore Grand Prix race winner. He spins over the line and KMK wins. Jack will cross the line P2, but he will be P3 as he puts it in a wall for good measure. It's going to be P3 for Jack, P2 for Padge. D-Time managing to keep SunGod at bay for over 20 laps, it feels. He will cross the line to be P4, with SunGod just behind in P5 with absolutely zero practice or qualifying or sprint race practice. So we absolutely commend that result there. And Steeley, unfortunately, not the result Steeley would have wanted, but P6 after all those strategy mishaps is no mean feat. And he tried clawing back, he tried the wet tyres, he had nothing really to lose. So he is going to be P6 in this race. And that is going to be your race. And Deton, I completely understand that, mate. Deton coming into our chat saying that the car was very difficult to drive in the rain, especially with a default setup as well. That's no mean feat that you've managed to keep SunGod behind for that long. KMK will be the one to celebrate his race win. It's a race win. It is, let me find out. I believe it's the first race win of the season for KMK. So he will be very happy with that. As please don't black screen me again. But if it does, your race rundown for the Singapore Grand Prix of 82 is KMK P1, Padge P2, Jack P3, Deton P4, SunGod P5, Steeley P6, Alex and Mark being your DNFs. But that was a lovely race, despite the wet weather causing it very, very difficult to overtake. I think when it comes to conditions like that, you have to be so careful with where you pick and choose your moves, and it unfortunately just did not work out for SunGod. So he, just couldn't find a way through, and even with no practice, that is an absolute incredible drive from him. And Jack has extended his championship lead on Steeley after Steeley's poor result. Well, hopefully when we come back to Monza next week, it is going to be full of vibes, full of fun, and full of overtaking, and hopefully not wet, because nobody likes driving in the wet. Of course, it is not only going to be 82 that is streamed this week. You will have Alex and David streaming No Assist on Tuesday, in which the Constructors' Champions have already been crowned in Ferrari. But it, of course, is still Cod and Willow, Cod Camper and Willow fighting it out for the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Cod Camper in 81 is still your provisional Drivers' Champion, but he is still being chased down, and Williams are trying to catch down Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. And of course, as I have stated, that in 82, Jack is leading the way, but Steeley still trying to claw back in any way he can with the 4 rounds remaining. So, come back next week at 7:30 PM GMT, or BST I think it is now. Other time zones are available. But please do come and rejoin the stream, get involved. If you liked the race, if you liked what you see and you want to get involved, give us a message, and we will get you an invite to the Discord. That way you can join in on the races and absolutely have a blast during this turnaround between now and the DLC release. Willow saying that he is 24 points ahead of Cod Camper, and he wants to win it in Suzuka again. And he's looking to win Monza to give him the best chance of winning the Drivers' Championship. For my driver of the day, I do believe that my driver of the day is going to be KMK. So I will be writing that in the Discord, and you can check that out, of course. Willow, thank you very much for joining me in the chat, and hopefully Willow will be back in the comms booth soon. But that is going to be it from me. Please come back Tuesday night and support Alex and David in the no assist race as we watch them go at it. Good.